Everybody out there that's watching, what's up? Episode 2. Told you we'd be back. Everybody have a good week. I did. Left my shitty job, got a new one. Start very soon. Happy about that. Me and Thacker got a
got corona.
topic today we want to talk about. First, there's this Democratic super PAC. It's called the Midas Touch. It's run by three brothers, Ben, Brett, and Jordan Masilis, if I hope I pronounced that right.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out how to pronounce it.
Yeah, I couldn't either. They're lawyers, and most notably the one, Ben, he is, I think that's his name. Yeah, Ben Masilis. He's most noted for he represented Colin Kaepernick against the NFL and negotiated Kaepernick's deal with Nike, which they call one of the biggest mega endorsement deals ever, which is just a big joke if you ask me. But they're very liberal. They're lefties. And they made a commercial, which hasn't aired on TV. It's only aired online. But these guys put these ads out and air them online. They have several ads. I went to their website to check them out, and we're going to tell you some stuff we found out about these guys just from looking around. But the video, when the article came out that brought it to our attention last week, at that time had 400,000 views online, which I don't know what it's up to now, but it's quite a bit, I would say, if it was already at 400,000. But it is aimed at the Republican Party. All their ads are. They're very anti-Trump, very anti-Republican. They call it Trumpism. They say if you have Trumpism, then you have a mental disorder, is what they say. Now, I don't know about you all, but I call it common sense to not vote left wing.
Very much.
Thacker here, he's going to play the ad here in just a minute. We're going to let you all watch the ad, and we'll want to see what you all think about it. Let's see here, Thacker.
The alienated, the sad, and the angry. In every country torn by strife, violence, and hardship, men and women are drawn to extremist leaders, promising to take on the enemies of their people. In America, some of our lost souls respond in a similar way to the call of influential voices, but instead of militant preachers or radical clerics, every single night in America, they can listen to our own angry advocates of division and conspiracy. Confused, angry people hear the call of these voices and take on the camouflage of warriors to threaten and even kill civilians. The radicalized Republican Party and the twisted people on TV who speak for them use the very same language of intolerance and rage to provoke those alienated people, actively pouring kerosene on the fire of social unrest. And until we all reject these poisonous voices, the result will inevitably be escalating violence and tragedy.
Now, hashtag resign Republican. That's the craziest shit I've ever heard in my life.
The reason, in my opinion, the reason why they do that is not the spreading type of awareness they want. For one, they want Republicans to alienate themselves from their own voters. That way, Republican politicians come out like, well, I don't want to do it. The people vote for you.
Yeah, it's the guys that put you there.
And they want to paint all the people as like terrorists or whatever, domestic terrorism. They want to prevent people from coming out and showing up like that, and that's pretty much what's happening. You've got groups out there that wants to go protest, but they don't want to bring guns anymore. They want to follow the law and order type. Now we can't really say which. If they did, that would actually create a change in the world. The right needs to do that.
Yeah, it's like we talked about last week. The reason right now the left is so damn successful at everything they do is because they're so passionate. They're not scared to get in people's faces, and they're not scared to go to jail. They will literally, if one of their people is to get arrested for something, they will protest outside of the jail. They'll protest outside of the courthouse every day. They'll find out who the judge is, march to the judge's house, protest outside of his house. They try to find out who the jury is. Anything they can to get their way. And they say the Republican Party's radical. I say that's not radical enough.
Yeah, no, there's no way it's radical. It needs to be radical because that's how you get change in the world. If you say you're a patriot, but then you say that we can't do things that the left does, the original patriots in the country did do those things.
Yeah, it's like we talked about the other day. I said, the people now that say the Capitol insurrection was a horrible tragedy, it should have never happened. Well, George Washington crossed the Delaware River in the middle of the night on Christmas Eve or Christmas night evening and killed hundreds of British soldiers while they were asleep.
Yeah, I know.
They didn't want taxation without representation, so what did they do? They hijacked a boat, destroyed all the cargo, killed the people on it, and then sank the ship.
Yeah.
That's the kind of shit it takes.
They also, they did storm the governor's mansion too in Boston. That's basically when before the revolution started. It all started in Boston, an uprising of people, and they literally stormed the governor's mansion. They tore everything in that mansion apart, destroyed artifacts, history artifacts, everything. They destroyed it, and the governor had to flee and panic. Which good thing he probably did, because they would have probably tarred and feathered him right there. Yeah. Because that was the way the actual patriots seemed to get things done. Yeah. They didn't worry about, is the newspaper article going to write something bad about me? Yeah. It's all this. No, they wanted to change. Yeah. And that's what the left is doing. And that's why videos like that, they'll make that to scare people on the right to keep from coming out and doing things.
Yeah. The Capitol insurrection, to me, should have just been the starting point. And now you got the Department of Justice. They call it the most wide-sweeping indictment they've ever done. Something like 400 people arrested now, which they did get that. Did you see where they FBI kicked in that woman and her husband's door and raided their house with a SWAT team?
Sure.
Because they thought she was the lady that had Nancy Pelosi's laptop.
No, I didn't say that.
She was there, but never entered the Capitol.
I seen where they went to people's houses and never went in. Yeah, because they pinged people's phones that was just outside.
Yeah.
They went to some people's house that wasn't even a part of that was just walking by, and they pinged their phones.
Yeah, they said that they were using the cell tracking to figure out where people were. But like the Republican Party, I watched Mitch McConnell the other day on local news channel talking to Bill Bryant, and in my honest opinion, one of the first things we need for change is we got to ditch Mitch.
You got to go
Mitch out of there. And if you're listening to this or watching, Mitch McConnell needs to go. He is no good for Kentucky anymore. I call him a lukewarm.
He got 6 years left, though.
Yeah. So I call him a lukewarm Republican.
I think he knows he ain't getting elected again, but he's got 6 years. Because Kentucky don't have a recall. They don't have. So you can't get rid of him. He's got 6 years left.
Yeah. He also has that. He was the one that didn't he get that, help get that law just passed here, where if a senator retires,
the
governor can't
replace with
the
whoever.
legislature has
Right.
to replace him.
Yeah.
They send the governor 3 candidates, and he has to pick one of those 3. He can't just pick whoever he wants.
Yeah, because before he could choose whoever, he could choose
Yeah.
a Democrat,
Yeah.
and they changed it to it has to come from a list.
Yeah, one of the biggest things about the ad we just showed you all that this Midas touch is playing is when they talk about the radicalized Republican leaders on TV spewing hate and firing everybody up. They show Geraldo, and he's one of the biggest lefty liberals you ever meet, and they got
Yeah, I
him
know.
on there. So like you don't even know who your guys are.
I don't care. It's just
Yeah.
it's the paint Republicans bad. It don't.
Yeah.
They could literally, they'll probably even take some pictures of Antifa out there and call them right wings.
We took heart, put this ad in our crosshairs because it hit home for me and Philip. Because 2 of the things they show in there are from the rally and march in Louisville with the
Yeah.
Angry Viking that we were there, and they show the 3-per patch that I have on my hat that I wear every single day, and I am in no way, shape, or form anything like ISIS, the Taliban, Timothy McVeigh. I just don't understand the logic in this. And the Republicans just sit back and take it, and they don't care. Oh, that ad there, a lot of lukewarm Republicans will see that, and they'll be the first ones to say, "Oh, I agree.
Yeah, I know.
They're too crazy right now. We need to not do that. You guys need to calm down."
And that's exactly where the politicians are falling for what the media wants them to do. They want them to alienate themselves from the voters. Democrats ain't doing that. Democrats literally go out there and take a picture, but a Republican will literally calm their social media to make sure they didn't take a picture 2 years ago with one of the people. And like, oh God, I got to delete that.
Yeah, and I'm actually going to call one politician out on that. Is when me and Philip went to the Get Out and Vote rally, which was hosted by the Scott County Republican Party. Kudos to them for trying. But I went to several events, me and Thacker did, and I'll be straight honest with you, besides the other local politicians that were speaking there, the only crowd there was me and Thacker.
Yeah, I know.
And maybe the same 3 or 4 people that showed up for everything else. And that was the Get Out and Vote rally. That's when Andy Barr had his Get Everybody Fired Up rally. It was us. And the Democrats get together. Besides Trump, he's the only Republican we've seen that draws the kind of crowds and the passion and the fire out of everybody the way that the left does. But until the Republicans get some, like we said last week, some balls, some intestinal fortitude,
Gonna have to.
yeah, nothing's going to change. Like this country slowly slipping away, and the Republicans right now in this country, and I'm not even talking about the Republican politicians and leaders, I'm talking about the general public that is Republicans that make up the whole entire Republican Party nationwide, are scared to death. They're afraid. They don't know what to do. They don't know who to turn to. The only one out there that's talking that can literally makes any sense is Tucker Carlson to me.
Yeah.
And they're after him hard, and he just flips a big middle finger at them and does his next show.
I believe eventually they'll end up getting him on Fox News. I believe Fox will get scared because once they start going after the cable companies and telling cable companies,
We're going to drop your channel from our subscription
if you don't get rid of him. So they'll have no outlet to have their show on if all the cable companies do. And then they'll have to go out and put pressure on these companies to do that. It's like when Parler got kicked off of Amazon, their web hosting, because everybody attacked them. So they did that. And I look forward, it may not be like, this month, next month, but eventually I do believe they will.
Well, they call him everything they call Tucker Carlson. I've been called white supremacist, white nationalist, Nazi, hate monger, warmonger, sexist, homophobe. If you're a right-wing conservative Christian, you've been called all those things. Otherwise, nobody knows where you stand. Because if you have conservative beliefs, the left just sees you that way. You're either on their side or you're not an American, is the way they look at it.
I've gotten death threats for the slightest things in my inbox, and every day. I've had so many death threats for taking up for Mitch McConnell, and that's where majority of my death threats came from, is taking up for Republican politicians that are cowards and won't take up for
The people
their
that vote for
voters.
them.
Like, I don't know how many death threats I had over just Mitch McConnell, Andy Barr, or any of them.
That's just like what I was getting ready to say, the politician that I was going to call out. He is a state representative, which he the
I think he's the floor leader.
the floor
Or some-
leader,
I don't know the exact title, but
or
I
like
think
the
something
majority
like that.
leader,
He's
or
the
something.
Senate floor, I think.
Yeah,
but I'm not
in
sure.
Frankfurt. He has a lot of pull here in the state. People listen to him. He's a big dog Republican. His name's Damon Thayer. Well, at the Get Out and Vote rally they had in Scott County after it was over, we went and were talking to them, and I asked, all the politicians that were there, we wanted pictures with them because before my Straw Boss page got taken down, we were promoting all the politicians. It was right in the middle of campaigning, was wide open for all the candidates, and I had my 3% Straw Boss shirt on.
Yeah.
And I said, "Hey, Damon, can I get a picture with you?" And he said, "What's that on your shirt?" I said, "Well, Straw Boss, that's my 3% handle, and that's the 3% logo inside the Spartan helmet." He was like, "Oh." And there was,
I didn't think he was going to take a picture.
Yeah, I didn't either. There was fear.
He was wanting out of it.
Yeah, there was fear in his eyes because he did not want to be photographed with somebody
was
wearing...
He's afraid it would get out and he would
be tarred and feathered.
He's afraid
so
of the
to
people
speak.
that will never vote for him.
Yeah.
I mean, the Republican politicians would go out of their way to cater to people they know good and well that would never vote for him no matter what they do. And then they will push away the people that's dead set on coming and voting for them.
Yeah.
And I did it anyways, but I'm not doing it no more.
Yeah, I'm not either.
I used to say I'll vote Democrat
yeah.
on some of them. I swear to God I will.
If somebody will stand up on issues I agree with and take a stand and have some balls, I'll listen to anybody. I'm open now. I'm not straight party line. You can't be anymore because...
That's how you get Mitch McConnell.
Yeah.
Voting for just Republican. He's that's cause I didn't like him when he came up. When I went to vote for him, I was like, well, he's better than a Democrat. But you can't have that mentality. You can't be afraid you can't be afraid and pick the lesser two evils. You got to be willing to let the Republicans know that, like, look, we'll bite the bullet. Fuck you.
I just couldn't bring myself to vote for Amy.
I couldn't. No, if I do it again, though, I would. If I could turn back time, I would.
She's a fighter pilot. Mom.
No.
But like the being called the names and stuff, man, that just comes along with it. Like it's people like us. Look, when we decided to do this podcast and stream all this stuff live to everybody and talk about this kind of stuff, it's because nobody except a choice few. Some podcasts and shows I watch, like the Hodge Twins, Terrence J. Williams, Tucker Carlson, who are there? Black Scout Survival, Heavy Duty Country on YouTube. Those guys are out there. They're making some noise. But
we need some more people on the far right.
Yeah, everybody's scared to death because they don't want to be labeled something they're not. Well, you know what? When you believe in something, you are.
Yeah, I used to go and I'd go on Facebook and I would type 2-3 paragraph long conversations having debates with people trying to have a debate, but it's not. Didn't come in. And I was just trying to prove how I wasn't racist, and the reason, and trying to explain my point of view, and saying why it has nothing to do with race. I got tired of doing it. I got to where I just put so.
Yeah, who cares?
Like they'll come and they quit. I mean, literally, I think 3-4 months ago, I'd have like thousands of comments on there, just people going racist, and I would really argue with them and say, no, I'm not. I'm doing this and that, and I just got to the point where I was like, yeah, so what's your point? It's America. I got the right
to be.
So what's your point? Then they just quit doing it.
Yeah,
so that's the only way you can respond to it. Like, there ain't no point trying to. They don't care if you're racist or not, so you're not going to change their minds. So there's no point. Just agree with them and go on.
Yeah, that's what I tell you the other day.
They'll leave you the fuck alone because they don't know how to respond to that.
Yeah, I told you the other day, the reason they call
really?
us white supremacists is because they've never met a real white supremacist.
No.
They've never faced somebody in the hood or with a swastika branded on their arm.
Yeah, I know.
That's a white supremacist, not a guy. They tell me I hate, like I told my wife just a few minutes ago before we started, they say that we hate America, yet I've got 4 American flags flying in front of my house.
I can't count the number of flags I got. I got 1 and probably 20 in the backyard, little ones, and right here in the front yard I probably got 10, 15, the small ones in the flower bed.
Prominent. If you're on Clapper, look up Straw Boss, and there's a video on there I posted today of my flags. But I'm the one that hates America. I bet the people that are telling me that I hate America are probably flying rainbow flags in front of their house.
Hell no.
You know? I don't understand.
Now people tell me, because I got the Confederate flag, or I have the Confederate flag, and that's the same thing that the country was founded on. Rebels. That's what it stands for. And it's another whole debate whether the Civil War is about slavery or not. I don't believe it is. Some people can say it is. I ain't, but that's a whole nother debate getting into.
It's a whole nother episode.
Yeah. In my opinion, there's plenty. But let's pretend that it was. Okay. 160 years ago. All right. Everybody back in them days may not have been racist, but they was white supremacists.
Because they believed
even the North was white supremacist.
The most advanced.
Even the major abolitionists in the North believed that whites were superior. It was just the time.
Yeah, it's just it was just the train of thought back then, because that's all they knew. Hell, it was 1700s. They didn't know.
And it was like today, there's black supremacy. Everybody believes that blacks are superior because they are literally superior because you can get by with more. And that's just the time that it is. Yeah.
That's like the ad, man. All they want is fear. They want people to see you with a 3% logo, a Oath Keepers patch, or a Proud Boys shirt, or that decal on your car, a Trump sticker, or... Andy Barr said at a rally, he said, I believe Trump's going to take it because the Republicans are the silent majority. They don't voice who they support. Well, that to me is a big crock of shit. Because look what being silent got us.
Yeah, no, it's time to be loud. Obnoxious.
Yeah. That's how the left got to where they are. Up in your face. Now, I'm not going to take a march and walk past people eating their dinner on a sidewalk outside a cafe and go up and start grabbing their food off their plates and screaming, Republicans rule!
There's no point of interfering with innocent people, but you can go and raise 9 kinds of hell at the people you're upset with.
Yeah. That's just like... when they talked about, Philip said earlier, when the governor's mansion got raided and they destroyed everything, tore the place to pieces. Now, the governor of this state holds a vendetta against his constituents because they were unhappy with him and hung a dummy of him in a tree. Not him. Not even within 1,000 yards of him. Outside of the Capitol building.
It was a dummy.
A dummy, an effigy of him. And to this day, I've heard him give speeches and he still brings that shit up.
Yeah, no.
I will not be intimidated. I will not back down.
Or hang 10 more.
Good deal. Good for you.
I'm actually gonna make one.
Yeah,
I'm
we
gonna make one.
should. And you know what? As minor as that is, they hung an effigy. You know what? It got attention. Made people listen.
Yeah, no, it's what you got. You got to do things to get people's attention. At first, pissing people off is what you got to do.
Yeah.
It's easy if you go up there to the Capitol and you stay, oh, I got to do this and that. It's easy to ignore you. You're like, okay, they're doing exactly what I want. They got you on a leash. And they can yank that damn thing by just saying, oh, you're racist and you're a terrorist, and yank the leash and put you right back in your place.
Yeah. Like, me and you started talking about this idea for this podcast. You know, I thought the other day, out of everybody in this country, how many people in their life so far have thought, man, I should start a YouTube channel. I should start a podcast. I should write a blog or something to voice, but they're too scared to.
Yeah, no.
They don't want that heat, so to speak. And that's where me and Thacker come in, because we really don't give a fuck. We'll say what everybody is scared to. And when we decided to do this, we went balls out. We're going to do it. And we're going to keep doing it. And I hope people share it. And I hope people watch it. And I hope they pay attention. And it's just like it says at the bottom of the screen there. If you got a topic you want to hear us talk about, or if you got an idea for this show, or there's something you want to see, or even like Thacker said last week, if you don't agree with us and you want to come on the show, we'll bring you on Zoom, video chat, something like that, and we'll have a debate. We'll discuss whatever topic you want to discuss that you think that we're wrong about, and we'll do it civilly. We won't yell and scream and cuss, but have facts. Don't just tell me I'm dumb because I'm a Republican.
Yeah, I know.
You can. That's what always kills me. I will argue with people, and I will give them a fact, and then another fact, and then another fact, and they'll say, "Oh yeah, well, Trump's dumb because he's up till 4 a.m. on Twitter."
Yeah, I know.
What? Okay, that's a fact. What the hell's that got to do with what we're talking about? Or Trump's just orange man. Shut up. Like,
yeah.
okay, but what does that got to do with what we're talking about? They never have any facts to back themselves up.
No.
It's what I always like about it. It's a YouTuber I watch. His name's Heavy Duty Country. His name's Dan, but his YouTube channel is Heavy Duty Country. He literally is kind of like us. He's a country boy. He lives in Texas. He raises cattle and stuff, and he doesn't give a shit. He tells you like it is, and I've been watching him for a while, and that's the reason they're going after Tucker Carlson. It's because he tells it like it is, but he doesn't go with the narrative they're trying to push down everybody's throat that Republicans are bad people. The right wing is conspiracy theorists. Not behind every conspiracy theory is some facts that started that.
Yeah, I know.
Not everybody. People don't just come up with this shit off the top of their head for no reason.
Nah.
There's something behind that. Some sort of truth behind driving that stuff.
And I don't even care even if something is a conspiracy theory. I mean, you're really not even allowed to type anything that's considered conspiracy theory on any type of social media anymore, and that ain't right. I mean,
oh yeah, the fact
it's still freedom of speech.
All over it. Well, Dave,
people say that social media is not the government that can enforce it. Well, they're a private company, yeah, but they're working on behalf of a government party, and they shouldn't be able to do that. Social media companies,
Yeah. Well,
corporations.
Have you read about where they are just upheld Trump's ban?
Yeah, on Facebook.
On Facebook.
So I don't think they should do that, and I think.
Okay, what kind of world are we living in where a company, a corporation, a social media company that pretty much advertises as a way to keep family and friends connected and stuff can silence the President of the United States? Can say, hey, you are not allowed to speak. You're not allowed to talk to the citizens of this country. And then other follow suit. Twitter. He even got banned off of it was like
Spotify.
Etsy and Spotify stuff. I'm like, is Trump shopping on Etsy? They got to ban him off there from buying candles.
They get him on Spotify. They afraid he's gonna listen to Eye of the Tiger and get riled up.
He'd be at the top of them steps with his fist raised, trumping it up.
And their founding fathers, I mean, they would have went and done some shit at these social media companies. They would have done went to war. I mean, they went to war over a lot smaller things that we're facing today in this country.
Oh yeah.
The first things that they went, the uprising in Boston, was over the Tax Stamp Act, over having to have a stamp on papers and stuff. Yeah. I mean, we got that now.
Yeah.
Go look at your marriage license or any type of government document. You got to pay for that, a stamp on it.
Man,
I got tags on my car I got to pay for every year.
Yeah, like, man, in this country, the government takes a cut of everything. When I work a job and I get paid, they take their cut of that. Then I take that money that they've already took their cut from, and I go to the store and buy something I need, and then they take their cut of that. Then if I use that and I don't need it anymore and I decide to sell it, I'm supposed to report that and pay taxes on that. Like, okay, well, you just dipped me 3 times on one thing.
Yeah,
paycheck, buying it. If I decide to sell it, it's quite insane. Like, me and my father-in-law, we had a discussion one day. He said, we got the tax bill in for the house. He said, man, the taxes went up. They went up like $400 or something.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy. That's the first time they've went up like that. I don't understand. I said, well, got to pay for that new high school and that new bypass somehow.
No, you don't really buy property anymore. You pay. You can go buy your car or house. Say you go spend $40,000 on a brand new car. You're only paying that so you can rent it from the government. You go spend $150,000 on a house. You're only doing that just so you can rent it from the government.
Yep.
Because if you don't pay the government, then they're going to come and take it. The same as if you're renting it.
Yep. And then they're going to turn
you don't
around
own
and
shit.
Sell it and tax the person that buys it.
Yeah, I know. And
then you got to pay them. I buy a piece of land, $120,000. Okay, well then every year I got to pay a tax to own something I've already paid for.
Yeah, I know.
That's ridiculous.
And I think we need to start protesting that instead of you'll see Republicans get in there, and it takes to have full supermajority for them to even talk about just lowering taxes. I think they need to go in there and talk about eliminating some taxes.
Yeah.
And that's where the people on the right need to go out on the protest like the left does. We need to be more on the offense. We should be going out there and pushing every day to eliminate taxes. And one that would keep the left from trying to push stuff like gun laws. The only time the right comes out to protest any gun laws is when they trying to add more gun control laws. We should be out there every day demanding fully automatic be legal. Then you're not going to get it done, no. Well, if you went out, I believe it's possible to get it done, but the left, instead of trying to take away semi-automatic guns, they'll be busy trying to stop you from having a fully automatic law legal. So you would tie them up from actually trying to do this stuff. You'd keep them busy.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to be out there. But you see the right protesting.
The only time they bring the damn gun control stuff up is if there's a mass shooting, and then they talk about, oh, the mass shootings. Well, you know what? The mass shootings aren't. It's not this huge epidemic like they make it out to be. There's not a mass shooting happening every week, every day, where hundreds or even tens of people will be killed. It's they use tragedy as a catalyst to push their agenda. And the reason, think about it, people, is they don't want Americans armed.
No.
And they don't want them, okay, well, you can have a gun, but you can't have this gun. You can only have these kinds of guns. Well, the Second Amendment doesn't say, well, I can have a gun, but only this kind of gun. It says the right to bear arms. The Second Amendment was written right after we had just beaten England in the Revolutionary War, the biggest superpower in the world. And it wasn't about shooting a deer. It wasn't about defending your home from a burglar. It was about, like they say in the Constitution, when the government becomes tyrannical and too big, it is the right of the people in this country to take that government out and install a new government. That's what's happening in this country, man. The government, listen to Biden talk. When he gives speeches, talks to Congress, everything, he wants big government, big government. He wants government involved in every aspect of your life. He wants you to get your money from the government, thus the lockdowns, the stimulus, the extended unemployment benefits. He wants you to get your food from the government, thus the added food stamp benefits, EBT benefits they've been pushing, extending everybody's EBT benefits. I mean, people are staying home, being able to buy more food and making more money than they would if they went out and worked a job.
Yeah, I know. So they're going to stay home.
Yeah, and that's what they want. And you know what? You're going to keep voting for those people that are pushing that because you don't want to lose your free food and your free housing and your free food, your free money that's coming every other week. Why would you want those people gone? Hell, when Obama was in office, he gave everybody cell phones.
Yeah, I know.
Like, are you kidding me? Nobody wants to go out and...
What happens when the money's gone?
Yeah. What's this?
Everything's going to collapse.
What's this new one he just passed? Is it the CARES Act? This
Not sure.
one that just passed, and now this infrastructure deal he's pushing. Was it $3 trillion?
Not sure.
I can't remember who it was, but it's like, God damn, I hope the Democrats don't ever find out what comes after $1 trillion.
Yeah, no.
They won't stop. It'll keep going and going and going.
Our government brings in enough money. They have a spending problem.
That's exactly damn right.
Yeah,
they don't know how to say no.
It's like if you tried to live your life the way the government does, and you get a job, no matter what type of job you got, if you just spend, go get a credit card and spend, no matter how much money you're making, you blow it all on junk if you don't pay attention to what you're spending it on.
Yeah. Like, no citizen in this country is allowed to just go out and spend 250 times what their pay is.
Hell no.
You know, and when does that end? Like, Biden keeps touting this, and then you got other Democrats that are in there calling for a fourth round of stimulus, which they already say that won't happen. Like AOC and Ilyana Mon, Maxine Waters, Scott Wiener, a bunch of them. They're calling for monthly stimuluses.
Yeah, no.
Get the fuck out of here.
Hell no.
Man, like, why would somebody want to work and earn their money when the government's giving them everything? But that's the thing. The Republican Party wants you to pull yourself up out of this pandemic and take care of yourself. Go back to work. Why should the economy be closed right now still?
Yeah, I know.
I read.
They should never closed it, in my opinion.
I read a thing the other day, man. When me and my wife watched it on the news last night, Montana and South Carolina are getting ready to end the extended federal unemployment benefits. They're not going to give them to their residents no more.
Yeah, I seen that.
Montana, though, came up with this thing. People that work, that have a job, they're going to give them a one-time payment of $1,200 with money they got from that CARES Act that Biden just passed. So they're spending that money instead of, here's you extra $300, here's you extra $300. Okay, you got a job, here's $1,200. At least you're trying. This will help you.
Yeah, I know.
That'll get people to go back to work. South Carolina's not doing that, what I read, but that's a good idea. And it's kind of a, sure, Biden, I'll take your money, but fuck you at the same time. Like, okay, I'm not going to spend it on what you want me to spend it on. I'm going to help our residents of this state stay on their feet and take care of themselves.
Yeah, I know.
Small businesses need it open. Restaurants, tattoos, bars, small mom and pop stores. They need it open. Country needs.
I say people just open up anyways and say screw the government.
Yeah, I said that the whole pandemic. Like,
It-
what are they going to do? They say, okay, you're supposed to be shut down. Oh, well, you know what?
What they
Are you going to pay the mortgage on my business building? You're going to pay the mortgage on my home? You're going to pay my car note? You're going to pay my insurance? You're going to pay my utilities for my business and this? Why I'm not allowed to be open and making money?
was threatening to pull people's business license and all this, like especially if they sold liquor, they did pull
their ABC
people's
license.
ABC license stuff. But I'd do it anyways. I would stand my ground, like if I own something, say okay, Mr. Thacker, we're going to take your liquor license.
Hell, the
I say, okay, you
Kennedys-
can have that sheet of
The
paper.
Kennedys made their fortune bootlegging.
I'd still sell it. They come put locks on my doors, I'd cut it off. Then I'd stand my ground.
Yeah, and that's the shit it takes. And that's the shit that people in this country are scared to do, though, because they'll make an example out of you. Oh, you don't. They make it out to be if you're trying to run your business and make a living for your family, like you don't care about the lives of other people.
Yeah, no.
Because the deadly virus, this 98% survival rate virus,
Yeah, no.
I just don't understand.
My founding fathers,
Didn't
they would have put something in to the Constitution saying, because they knew about pandemics. They literally fought a revolution with smallpox.
Yeah, small. I was thinking cholera or something.
I think it was smallpox. Smallpox. They call it the bloody pox.
Yeah,
Because it was way deadlier than
not
the
mistaken for Tupac.
yeah, it was way worse than the coronavirus. It was literally deadly. And then they fought a revolution, and they didn't put nothing in the Constitution saying, okay, these are still good. But if something like the smallpox breaks out, then the government can come in. No, they didn't do that.
And that gets me to a point here too. Also, I was talking about. I'm sorry I jump off this, but they were talking about the right, the groups. They condemn them for going out and standing up. Like a lot of the threeper groups here during the pandemic started coming into the because they were attending the anti-lockdown rallies
Yeah.
at the state capitals and stuff. Which I might add, were every single one of them were peaceful. You
Yeah,
ever see
nobody
Did
raised.
you ever see a 3% rally where any building got burned or a car flipped or
Hell no.
no, I ain't. But remember the like Biden called them the idea.
Yeah,
Just
no.
an idea, Antifa.
Yeah, no. And they literally have chapters made of them. So you go to Facebook, they got Rose City Antifa, I think it's the largest. They're on chapter. Because mainly spawned up in I think Portland, Oregon, like 4 years ago.
You know what I'd like to do? Let's organize a big Antifa rally, and then we can just do something. I'm not going to say anything incriminating on that, but it's just
FBI. Yeah, I think it's going to get real when the political season comes, especially in Kentucky. I think you're going to see a lot of Black Lives Matter and Antifa throughout the state of Kentucky.
I do.
Because Charles Booker is running.
Oh yeah, I know he's running for Senate.
Yeah, and he ran against Amy McGrath, but he lost. But they're like really ramping it up for him now. Bernie Sanders has done came, and I believe Bernie.
What was it, last week, wasn't it?
Last week or week before? I think it was last weekend.
Yeah.
And I believe he'll be when the political season really ramps up. I believe Bernie will be here and bring all of his people, and then the group from Louisville they'll be coming because they'll be desperate trying to get him to win. So they'll be doing anything. And you're going to see a lot of that throughout Kentucky, I believe.
Yeah, especially Louisville and Lexington.
Yeah.
Although me and my wife, the guy in Ashland that organized the Black Lives Matter rally, I watched several different live streams of his, and somebody stole his truck, the guy that organized it. They found the truck 2 days later in a creek. They did. He tried to organize a BLM march in Ashland.
Wait, where's that at?
Ashland.
I think I know who you're talking about. Was it D. Garrett's truck?
I guess he puts out videos all the time, and he's like, "You 3% guys, you all have a lot of the same values as like."
See, like the heavy set dude, he has his shirt out. He got like real long black hair.
Yeah, it's kind
he
of.
got the hell beat out of him up in Louisville a couple weeks ago by the cops. You didn't see that? I had it on Facebook Live. The cops probably was in the wrong a little bit in that video, but it was funny watching that dude get his ass beat.
Well, I'd imagine so.
They got him, and he's just like running off at the mouth, and he put his hands behind his back like that right there, and it was like, I think he was saying somebody hurts or something, I don't know, and he was saying he's so big, he couldn't get his hands all the way around. And all of a sudden, that one, he grabs him, and they just tussle him to the ground, and and you could hear everybody, don't hurt him, or something like that. And that copper hair's back and like fucking whales on the back of his head. And he yells at him, he says, how's it hurt now, or something. He kept hitting him and hitting him. And you can see he did like a video when he got out of jail a couple days later. His eye was black. It was funny.
You have to send me that. I have to see that.
It was.
But that guy, man, like, I say it all the time. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. What do you expect's going to happen to you?
Hell no. I mean, you go out there and run your mouth every day.
Portland.
Hell no.
Where Antifa's overrun blocks of cities and taken over police stations and set up autonomous zones. You're in freaking Louisville. The police here don't play that shit.
Yeah, no.
That's just like when we went to the march, man, and we were down there in Jefferson Square, and the police asked us to leave. Asked Angry Viking to pull his people out. And everybody was like, I can't believe you all left and did blah, 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 blah. Well, you know what? Angry Viking had a really good point. He said, if we had stayed and told the police, fuck you, we're not leaving, then we're just like BLM, Antifa down there. But in my opinion, I would have loved to have stayed.
I wish we would have.
Have went down there and housed on people. But
at the time, I agree. But now,
he had a point though. I think in the fact that
at the time, I see his point of view. But me looking back now, I wish that it would have been different.
And it's even like he said, there were
just to raise hell. Well, yeah, that was the biggest thing. They had the little kids.
But one, too, I'm also like, what kind of parent brings their kid to that? I wouldn't take my daughter to that for nothing.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. There was no way in hell I'd take my kid. That's why when I seen several people up there, and they was like, they had their little kids in front of them, but they was like screaming, "Raise us!" I'm like, you're literally hiding behind your kid. I mean, you're outnumbered right here.
Yeah.
We could literally went through them easy.
Oh, yeah, man, we outnumbered them.
But that's one thing I will give the left, though.
They didn't back down.
They didn't back down.
No,
They was like maybe 50, maybe 100 of them, and we probably had close to 1,000.
Yeah.
We could have went through them easily.
Yeah.
And if
we
you
were armed to the teeth.
yeah, I know some of them were too.
Yeah, I know.
But they were scared.
AR-15s, they had the pistols. I seen all the.
They were scared. If you go back and watch some of the live Facebook videos of some of the live streamers, you could see they were scared. They was going to the police trying to get police
I
help.
watched the one guy run around, was looking for the police. He's like, "Are you guys going to do anything? The white militia's coming."
Yeah, I
He
know.
kept calling us the white militia.
Yeah, I know. But they were scared. That's the point. It don't matter if you're scared or not. But when it came down to it, they stood their ground.
Yeah.
They didn't back down. They was loud and obnoxious, and they stood by their cause.
Yeah, they did. I will give them that. Their resolve is.
I don't agree with what they stand for, but I respect them because they won't back down.
Yeah, their resolve is something else for real.
Like, there's no way I would feel comfortable with just 50 people and have 1,000 armed people that could go through me.
Yeah. No, you know you're gonna die.
Yeah, if it came to it, yeah. But they stood their ground.
Yeah, that resolve. Because
they got passion for what they believe in.
Yeah, and two, there's probably they know too if they were to happen to get arrested or something, there's a bail fund that's going to get them or some.
We go to jail, we're stuck.
Antifa, yeah. I go to jail in that situation. I'm having to call my wife to come down.
Yeah, I know. I ain't got a number. Because they're literally out there when they're getting arrested. They literally yell, "What's your name? What's your number? We're sending somebody down to meet." And they'll literally go in large groups to the jailhouse, and they have the fund, and they go and get them out.
Yeah.
When somebody on the ride gets in jail, they're like, "He got arrested. I'm getting the fuck out of here."
Yeah, perfect example. Look. I read an article earlier today. The guy was in front of a judge. He was arrested for his role in the Capitol insurrection. His lawyer claims that the reason his client was in Washington and participated in the Capitol insurrection is because he suffered from Foxism. Because he had been bombarded for 6 months straight by Fox News and started to believe the lies. Okay, well, when does it turn into the court's job to designate what's a lie and not when it's coming from the TV news channel? So does that mean that opens up the precedent there that you could go do anything and then blame it on television? What are you, 12?
Yeah,
I saw it in a rap video, so I'm going to do it.
Yeah, I know.
Like, come on, man. They're just, I don't know. These people in the insurrection are frustrating me. I was so hyped that day when that happened. I thought it's the start. I even texted Thacker here. I said, it's happening. Wish I was in Washington. Now these people are just...
It could have been a good time for a huge movement.
Yeah, it could.
It could have spread. And you could got some shit done.
It could have been the catalyst for a movement on our side, just like the George Floyd incident was a catalyst for the movement on their side.
Yeah.
Get it started. Jump started.
Yeah, and it should have.
I'm not saying George Floyd should have died, but I'm saying that's his death by Derek Chauvin was the catalyst that started what happened. That snowball down the mountain.
Yeah, no, they used it as
that was their.
And they got people. They got people out with it.
Yeah,
and they raised a lot of money, and then they've actually done a lot of things for their cause.
Yeah. I actually saw the article the other day. One of the founders of BLM bought a $1.8 million mansion in an all-white neighborhood.
Yeah, I know. They ain't spend a dime in the black neighborhoods.
Yeah, they don't.
Nah,
because it ain't about black lives. It's about green money.
Yep.
It's about green money. That's all it boils down to.
You see where a woman in 77-year-old woman got arrested and she threw at Burger King? She didn't like her damn tomato on her hamburger. She was a white woman, 70. I think she was 77 years old, and she got upset about her Whopper. It was dumb as shit. It was something about her tomato. It was either too thick or too thin. She got mad about it. So she goes in and she throws that burger at the worker, and the worker was black, and she said the N word. Throwing the Whopper is like a misdemeanor, but because she said the N word, it's a felony. I'm like, well, that's literally freedom of speech. And I was arguing with one dude because I made a post about it, and some random people pop up on it from time to time, and he was like saying, well, it is a law, and I was arguing with him saying, well, that's my point, that it is a law, and there shouldn't be no law about freedom of speech. No matter whether you like the word or not, no one should be punished legally for saying it. Yeah. And then he was going on, no, it is a law. Then he went and thought he was trying to prove a point, and he showed a screenshot of what the law states. And I said, well, I'm not arguing whether it is a law.
You're saying it shouldn't be.
I'm saying I'm not arguing whether it is a law or not. I'm arguing whether it's right or wrong. And that's my point, that we're creating laws restricting freedom of speech. Freedom of speech ain't because someone gets upset about it.
Yeah.
It's...
Yep, my freedom of speech doesn't end because your feelings get hurt.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I seen a meme on Instagram one time. It says, show me one place in the Declaration of Independence where it says somebody can't be president because they post mean tweets.
Yeah, I know.
You know?
I forget which president. It was one president. It was way before the internet, though. He was mean with the newspaper, same as Trump was. I can't remember which one it is. No, I think they threatened to slap one of them people. The press. But about the Whopper thing, can you imagine if someone threw a Whopper and hit me, and throw a Whopper and say, here, cracker? I don't want that person to go to jail for a freaking felony. It wouldn't be a felony.
And it's going to ruin that person's life.
I wouldn't even want them arrested. I'd probably just laugh about it, take the damn hamburger off my I know. I wouldn't be like, yes, arrest him for a felony.
Yeah, free Whopper.
I wouldn't even call the cops. I was just like, I'm going to go wash this off. That was a dick move. But
yeah, I'd be like, man, dude.
I'm not going to be like, all right, he called me a cracker.
Make sure you felonize him. He called me a C word.
And it was an old person, too, wasn't it? It was an old woman.
Now, imagine a 17-year-old kid does that.
You got to punch him in the mouth.
Charged with a felony. All right, you know what? 17-year-old kid now will have a felony that follows him and makes his life hard for the rest of his days.
Yeah, I know.
That's just the way this country works, man. Way this country works. Well, we're coming up on close to an hour here. Before we do get out of here today, I want to give a shout out. His name's on Facebook. It's Paul Riley. Paul Riley, and he runs a business called Patriot Shit Outfitters. Now, I met Paul over the internet, not physically, but we got to know each other on Facebook before I was kicked off, and he runs that website, Patriot Shit, and he sponsors Straw Boss and us and sends us free stuff all the time. My morale patch collection is off the chain now. I'm going to show these up close to the camera with his logo. I want everybody to go check this guy out. If you're watching or listening, this is just an example. Boom. I love this. Joe Biden, I don't work for you. Boom. www.patriotshit.com. He doesn't just sell morale patches. He sells tactical gear. He sells Kyle Rittenhouse merchandise to raise money for Kyle Rittenhouse. Sells flags, shirts, stickers, tactical gear. morale patches, everyday carry stuff, holsters, pins. His site's awesome. I buy stuff off of it at least once or twice a month for real.
Yeah,
Along with the stuff that he sends me just for being a super cool guy. Actually got stuff of his on the Straw Boss hat that he sent. If you can see it, and if you got it something you want to see, like I said, or a topic you think would be cool to hear us talk about, or you want to come on here and debate with us, send them to www or no shit. I'm saying like it's a website. Email us at KentuckyInfidels@yahoo.com, or you could direct message us through the Facebook page, and we can get it that way, and we'll get back to you, let you know what we think, and if you want to debate, we'll debate. I'm always down for a good argument.
Yeah, I'm too.
We'll do it civilly.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, it depends.
Depends on if we drank that day or not.
Yeah, though.
But I hope everybody has a good weekend. This is episode 2. And what is hopefully 2 of a lot.
Yeah.
Like, even hit us up and let us know if you're enjoying it. If you listen, if you like it. Some feedback would be nice. We see the views and the likes and stuff like that, but some input would be great. We'd love to hear from y'all. We're even talking about down the road t-shirts and some other merch. So let us know ideas on that, stuff you'd be interested in. Anything?
Nah.
All right. All my Threeper brothers out there, and